to fucking wait.
Wait,
I just started it.
Okay, cool.
Yeah,
Caleb, you know who you remind me of?
McLovin.
Yes.
Superbad.
Yes. Dude, have you ever seen Kick-Ass?
Nah, dude.
Dude, he's in Kick-Ass, and
I haven't seen
in
Kick-Ass.
Kick-Ass 2. Okay, in Kick-Ass 1, he's called the Red Mist. I'm not going to explain the whole synopsis to you, but he's called the Red Mist, like he's a superhero. It's called the Red Mist, but in Kick-Ass 2, he's called the Motherfucker. And you just, the way
Dave,
you like, compose yourself is just really, like, reminds me of that character.
Dude, I can, like, walk down stores, like, the aisle of the store, and someone would be like, bro, you know who you look like? And I was like, McLovin from Superbad.
Yeah.
Like,
isn't that who we talked about?
I think you kind of, like, talk like him, too.
No, the funny thing was, we talked about this, a couple months ago, and you talked to somebody who dressed up for like a side job.
What was it called?
Yeah, he was talking, and the guy was saying how he should do McLovin.
Yeah,
so
you should.
Be funny.
Yeah, Christopher Mintz, I think is his name. His real name is Christopher Mintz.
Yeah.
Something.
You kind of.
I have to Google it, but
yeah.
He's also in Role Models, the movie Role Models.
I haven't seen
Super
that,
funny movie, dude. It's a great movie. I liked it a lot.
Okay,
But,
well that was an intro.
Yeah,
let's
start.
All right.
So I was gonna start talking about it before you hit record. I'm like, wait a minute, that'd be such a good intro.
It would be.
Yeah.
Okay.
Nice.
So.
But yeah, welcome. I mean, thanks for listening to us.
This is the podcast.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's gonna be said like at the beginning of everyone. This is the podcast.
Yeah. Fancy ass name. So I guess we talked about it earlier, but just give a general introduction of who's here.
Yeah.
If you want to say that.
I mean, we already mentioned him by name, so he's got to go.
Yeah.
No choice.
Alright, so Joe, if you want to start it off since you're over there.
Do I just like say my full name in my dreams?
No, you don't say
Nice.
My name's Joseph.
Yeah.
Keep it casual.
I'm a sales associate at Vans. I like music. I work on music and write a lot of films.
Short and sweet. You want me to go?
Yeah.
Like my penis.
Okay, alright. Very comfortable with the audience already.
Yeah.
Okay.
At least not.
Well, my name is Cameron Watson. I don't know if I want to go into job titles.
Yeah.
But I work at Texas Motor Speedway, and I watch over a gym right now and studying to get my personal training license. So you could say I'm involved with the fitness industry and kind of see myself having a future career there. So I think that's a general introduction. Caleb?
Alright, well, my name's Caleb. Where I work in construction. So, we work for a concrete company, we work foundations, houses, work outside a lot, but I really do enjoy it. It gives me a different aspect.
I'm sorry for interrupting. On
That's
average, how many bodies do you bury accidentally?
Accidentally.
Oh, not
They
like
don't like
5.
to think about that.
Yeah, I keep a tally on my hand. A little smudge, but I think I'm at like 7.
7, dude. Yeah, dude, like if you fall in the ditch, it's like you're falling.
We don't
There's
need
there's no way.
You're not coming out of it.
It's like hard quicksand. There's
It's like once you're gone, you're
It takes
gone.
a couple days to settle, but if we kick you down enough, like, just stay
You're gonna pull a Han Solo.
Can you fucking imagine? Okay, sorry, Noah, you introduced
Yeah.
yourself.
Okay, my name is Noah. I push carts at Sam's Club for the time being. Probably gonna quit as soon as I get a different opportunity.
Yes, sir.
Hey, watch Sam's like pull up on our podcast.
It's like, hey, yo, what you doing?
Shit, you talking shit?
You have a problem? Talk to Reggie about this.
God damn, got him.
Who the fuck is named Reggie?
Is that your manager or something?
Yeah,
What's
it's
up?
my
My name's Reggie.
He's actually the only
Like some
good
fucking
manager
anime
that I
character.
have.
Take
Like,
it up
we
to
have-
Reggie.
we have
Don't
6
take
or
this out
7
on Sam's.
managers,
You ever?
and like he's literally the only one.
Wait, is he? So he's in charge of like car pushing?
Yeah, he actually like oversees and like.
Dude, that's
Like
totally the
Armada.
name of someone who overwatches car pushing. Reggie.
I'm already Tracer.
I'm sorry.
You said Overwatch.
What about Widowmaker?
Already Tracer.
No, what the fuck? You ever played Pokemon, Caleb?
Nah, dude.
Fuck. Who
I know,
just
dude.
played
I
Pokemon
missed the
aside from me?
closest.
Huh?
The class.
You played Pokemon aside
Like
from
Go?
me? No, just like straight up.
No,
like
the
Pokemon
old,
games.
I wasn't
like the
that
class
nerdy.
one, dude.
Fuck,
Dude,
I'm not nerdy, I'm normal. Anyway,
Call
he
that.
sounds like a bug catcher trainer. I'm bug catcher Reggie. Go Caterpie! Like, or fucking
Yeah, you're
something
the
like
only one
that.
understanding.
Yeah, that'd be
this.
so much better if we all got it.
I think that gives.
I'm
I
gonna
think
go home.
that really.
I'm taking all my equipment and I'm leaving.
I think that really goes to show like
of this.
how different I think it really goes to show how different like each one, like all completely different perspectives. Like we have a guy Texas Motor Speedway, construction worker, vans, and a cart pusher.
Yeah,
I was-
different backgrounds.
Different backgrounds.
I
and
talked to
goes-
I talked to you and Noah. I mean, you're not a part of like the core friend group.
Yeah, the core
Damn,
friend.
call
I'm
it.
just like the
But,
one that
like,
got tossed into this.
Yeah, honestly, you would get along with Garrett great because Garrett's also one who got tossed into it. But anyway, like, I was talking to Cameron and Noah about that, about our core friend group. I'm like, if you really look at it from an outsider's perspective, we are all very different people. It's a miracle we're friends.
Yeah,
you know?
yeah.
It's
And
like,
it's not only a miracle like we're friends, but it's also a miracle that we've stayed friends for so long.
all right.
Yeah, that's true.
I met. Oh my gosh, I gotta tell the story.
Go for it.
I gotta tell the story of how
Yeah.
me and Jerry met. Okay, so
Funny shit.
it was
Story time.
what was it, 7th or 8th grade?
8th grade.
8th grade.
Yeah.
You remember this by heart.
I do.
So
8th grade was a shit time for me, everybody's.
what? Okay, so
Okay, the first half of it was.
Okay.
And he knows why. So
Yeah.
it's the reason why we knew each other.
So pretty much he had this lady friend. We're not gonna go into names.
Yeah,
because,
please don't.
yeah.
She's really cool. It just was not a.
Yeah,
It was not
she'd probably
good.
hop up in here and be like, yeah.
Who's is talking about me?
Okay, whoever gets pissed about a 8th grade story,
Right,
like,
right.
come on, all right.
It was 8th grade.
It's pretty innocent. Anyway, so Joey and her were thinking. She was in one of my classes, and honestly, I didn't know her and Joey were dating. So I was a shooter shoot. So I was shooting my shot,
Yeah.
and and I thought she liked me, and then I figured out that they were dating, and obviously even 8th grade I was sensible enough to not
Chill,
shoot
yeah.
on that. But
I didn't find out about that.
there was
shit
another
until
kid.
fucking-
There was another kid.
until Luke.
Yeah. We were walking down the hall. We didn't even know each other. About each other.
we did not know about
And,
each other or knew each other.
We were
or
walking down the
anything.
hall. I didn't even hear this until after. But we were walking down the hall, and the guy who was with you said to his girlfriend, to Joey's girlfriend,
Yeah.
hey, look, there's Cameron.
Yeah.
down the hall.
Yeah.
And from that moment on, Joey knew he hated me, right?
Yeah,
Some things
I
never
was
changed.
fucking peeved.
Anyways, so
I still do.
so
That's why we're in your room recording this podcast.
yeah, so it was like what was
Out
it?
of hatred.
It might have been like it might have been the day of that this actually happened, but we were both in athletics and we were walking into the locker room, and I thought it was hilarious to flip initials. So I was like flipping everyone's initials.
Yeah, it was like Pig Latin almost, but it was just
Yeah.
a really funny
yeah.
joke.
Yeah, so like me would be Whammer and Katzen, and Joey would be Hoey Jarris, right?
Yeah.
And I thought that was the funniest shit. So we were walking into the athletics locker room, and and I looked at Joey, and I'm like, hey, Joey, your initials flipped around under Hoey Jarris. Turns around, looks me in the eye, says, fuck off, Cameron.
Yeah,
Just one
I
sentence,
like
bro.
if I, honestly, if
That's
I
the
could turn
first thing he
Super
said.
Saiyan,
That's the
like if
first
that was
sentence
a
I heard
thing,
from Joe.
that would have been the moment. That would have been the moment I unlocked my Super Saiyan.
Yeah, and,
I was fucking pissed. and looking back on it now, it's the most ridiculous shit. Like,
Yeah,
like,
but
why
it
was
was
I so
8th
angry
grade, we
about
get
that?
it. But
Yeah.
funny story, his contact name is still Hoey Jarris.
Yeah.
To this day.
To this day.
It's been, what, 5 years?
Yeah, it's
Some
been a
shit
minute.
like
No, but okay, so like following that, it's freshman year, and so Cameron and I, we hated ourselves. So we did cross country in Mac Camp, and Mac Camp was this really cool cardio like.
I did that for
work
like 2
thing.
days.
It's mostly, it's like making of a champion camp.
Right.
And
That
it's,
was- yeah.
it's a pretty cool camp, for
It was.
athletes. And you go in, it's 3/4 of the people there are going to be for football.
Right.
That's just how it is. So
Yeah.
I was trying to make up my mind if I wanted to play football or not. I was shit at football. I'm not even
Yeah.
like front. I was ass, but I thought it was a cool thing. So
Yeah.
we did that in cross country. Now that I think about that, I don't know how the hell we did that.
I really
That
don't.
was like 3 hours of working
Yeah,
out.
I like going a mile and a half run, and I'm done. And I'm like, how the fuck did I do this every day? Like, what the
yeah, and multiply that by 3. So it
fuck?
was
Right.
it was crazy and intense, but yeah, where were you going with that?
Yeah. Okay, so this is after cross country. We're in Mac Camp at this point, and it's the summer before freshman year. And my mom is telling me, like, hey, you can bring a +1 to Florida this year because we were
shit,
going
I
to this
forgot about
resort.
Yeah.
And this is post, like, breakup of this really toxic relationship that I was in. And that's no comment on her. It's just we did not work together. And I and I didn't...
By the way.
No, but I didn't have anybody to bring with me. And we're in the weight room, and I look over at Cameron. Like, Blaine was bothering me about it. He was asking me if he could go or something like that. And I
Blaine?
go, yeah,
Chambers?
Chambers.
Oh, shit.
Yeah. And
Almost
I have my
forgot
own.
he existed.
I have my own beef with him, but
He's gonna listen to this. He's
Right.
What the fuck?
Well,
Still,
I know.
I should say
It's
had.
like-
I had my own beef with him at that point.
Yeah.
So I look over at you and I'm like, Cameron, and this is like, we haven't talked since 8th grade.
Yeah.
So I'm like, hey Cameron, you want to come to Florida with me? And he's like, the fuck?
I honestly didn't think you were serious at first.
No, I was being 100% real, and it didn't hit me that was such a fucking weird question for you until like we were in the middle of going to Florida.
Yeah.
I'm like, the odds of this happening are fucking insane. Like, because I used to hate your guts, you know, and then I'm like,
Yeah.
hey, want to go on vacation with me?
Yeah.
You know?
You could
That-
have chose me. Like, what the...
We weren't talking at that point.
So...
I didn't start talking to you again until late freshman
Hey
year.
man, if you would have met him like, you know, like a week after you met him, he would just take him to Florida. It was crazy. We met like, what? We were actually like friends for about a week.
Yeah,
Until
because and you were the only one. I didn't know Carter at this point. I knew he was there, but I never talked to him. So I only knew you in cross country,
Mhm.
and so I just sat next to you and we started talking.
Yeah.
And yeah, but everything worked out. Now here we
You
are, so that's
remember?
really
You
fucking
remember in
weird.
Florida, you sleptwalked.
Yeah.
And
I gotta go with the pawn.
he,
Sleptwalked?
like,
I don't know if I was talking
no,
about
I
weed
deadass.
or an actual
I have
pot
this.
or like.
I have this in my old phone. Like I have my old iPhone 5.
Yeah.
And I recorded it in my notes because I didn't want to forget. So there was one night he was sleepwalking, and I woke up, and I don't know how the hell this didn't freak me out. At the
I was
time.
on a, like, to give you context, we're in Pensacola, we're in this like cool condo thing, and I'm on the couch and he's on the recliner, which the summer prior I spent a whole week on playing Skyrim. But that's
the recliner.
yeah, dead ass. Like I slept in that shit. It was amazing. I love that recliner. 10 out of 10 would go back and sit. Anyway, but that's context.
Yeah, but so he woke up in the middle of the night and he walked over to the counter area, and then I woke up a little bit after him, and I was like, what the hell is he doing? And I was like, Joey, what are you doing, right? And have you sleptwalked to this point? Has it just been like off and on?
I don't think he's gonna realize if he.
Huh?
Well,
No, but
I have people telling me.
Dude.
Tell that people who spend the night, or people who or like my parents, namely, or anything like that. Like when I sleepwalk, somebody usually wakes up and notices. But have I sleptwalked recently? Sometimes I'll go to bed with my light off, or like I'll go to bed in my chair and I'll wake up and it's on,
Yeah.
or like I'm sleeping in my chair, my computer chair, and then I'll wake up in my bed.
Yeah.
Or like sometimes I'll sleepwalk based on memory. And
Like,
I'll just
yeah,
go to my
small
bed
stuff.
and-
You'll like realize.
But
shit.
nothing as big as that. No.
I
don't think so.
have a funny sleepwalking story after we.
Yeah,
talk
yeah,
about
yeah.
this.
I got one
clear.
too. Like,
Let's not jump to the
Okay.
next story.
Anyways, so he got up and I mean there isn't really much to this, but he walked up to the counter area and I was like, Joey, what are you doing? And he just looked back at me and goes, I'm getting the pot. I'm looking for the pot or something, and I just took out my phone and like, looking for the pot, and I like typed it in there.
And then it's like, okay.
And then woke up in the morning and I'm like, you get the pot?
and I didn't know what the fuck he was talking about. Like,
Yeah.
what the fuck are you talking about? Yeah.
It was pretty funny, but following that up with another sleepwalking story, so this was like, man, I don't even know time frame. It was a long time ago. Probably like 5th grade, because I was pretty short, and this has to do with like the counter in my restroom, which is, I mean, it's tall, but it's not super tall. Anyways, I was sleepwalking, and for some reason I thought it was a great idea. I didn't want to piss in the toilet. I thought the sink was a good idea.
Yeah.
So I pulled out a little step stool, which you still have in there, and I like,
All this while you were asleep.
yes, and I woke, and I was pissing in the sink, and I wake up to like my mom, and she's like, Cameron, what are you doing? I wake up and I'm like, oh, and I'm just like, just taking a leak. I just had to release it. So.
Penis in hand. Pants down.
Pants down, penis out,
looks over.
sink on. All right,
Pants down, penis out, can't lose.
all right. I'm flushing. Like, shh.
Gotta clear out the yellow stain.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure we poured bleach down that bitch. But, yeah.
Dang, bro.
Dude, it was the only other sleepwalking story that I do remember, like that I was told that I sleepwalked, whenever it was when I was a kid. I was like 8 or 9, and I got up, I walked downstairs. I live on the 2nd story of my house, so it's a fucking miracle I walked downstairs to sleep. You know.
And you have like wood stairs too.
I know. Well, I didn't used to. It used to be shag carpeting. Yeah,
Oh,
like just kind of like how I have the shag carpeting everywhere except those stairs.
Shad.
Shag.
Do you remember from this morning? Shad. What it meant in what was that, Hebrew or something? Shad.
Was it?
No, it was Shad. Shad.
Oh yeah, you wrote it down, didn't you?
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah,
So
Shad means
this is a funny story. My dad's gonna be like, what the hell? Because his name's Shad. My dad's name is Shad.
is Shad.
Shad. S-H-A-D.
That's why you wrote it down.
So yes, that's why I wrote it down. So yeah, we always thought it was funny because that's the name of a fish, right?
Yeah.
Well, it turns out, what language is it? Latin, Hebrew, Hebrew, something like that.
Let's hope we don't have any dialects coming in.
Yeah, we're gonna Google this and be like, actually,
You mispronounced it. I'm gonna Google it.
No, but in Latin it means, or Hebrew, fuck, messing it up. It means breast. So now I know
Nice.
my dad's
Your dad's name
my
is
dad's
Boo.
name is Breast.
Do you call him breast now?
Huh?
Hey,
I'll be like, yo, what's up, Breast? he's like eating breakfast. Yo, what's up, Breast? You feed?
What's going on, boob?
Dang, bro.
Hey, yo, he's living like a titty. What's up?
Dang, bro.
But,
man.
I cut off your story. I'm
No,
just
dude, you're fine. But going back to, so I walk downstairs like fucking asleep, and I go to the living room and I stand there, like literally just been, minding my own fucking business, and then my mom comes out of her room because she heard me, and she's like, Joey, and I was like, what? And she said, what are you doing? And I said, I don't know. And he said, go back to bed. And I'm like, okay. So I walk back over to the stairs, climb up the stairs, close my bedroom door, and I hit the fucking sack. And she tells me the next morning, like, what the fuck are you talking about, Mom? Are you high? I'm like, did you eat some edibles or something? Like,
I know I'm using all the good stories right now, but speaking of sleeping at your house.
oh, fuck.
Man, you guys have a bunch of
No, I never let. I'm not gonna let. All the
He's never
others,
gonna let
all
you live
those
this
jokes,
down.
all those stories can die. This one has the one that has.
has to live on.
Yeah. Okay. So
Never forget.
he's groaning because I say this to practically anybody we meet.
Yeah. I have a good defense for this anyway, but like that's not the point.
You
like,
do.
The
Okay.
point is just funny.
Listen, I was this shy little,
Yeah, this.
kid.
Okay, let me give the context
Yeah,
real quick.
yeah,
Okay, so like before Cameron went to Florida with me, we spent a few days together. So and one of the days he was spending the night.
Was this before?
Yes,
Oh,
this was before Florida because your mom wanted me to spend more time with you, so
The
we could
trip's
get a
not
feel
like-
for each other because we're gonna be together. For
Well,
a
we had
week.
only known each other for a week. So.
Yeah, it'd been it really wasn't. That
This
long
was
of a
like
time.
all just like on a fling then.
Absolutely, it totally was. Which again, like, is fucking hilarious because we used to hate each other. But
That would have been awkward as
I know.
shit for me.
But anyway, so he
What are you doing?
My shoulder is really tight, and I got a gym early in the morning, so I'm just gonna casually massage myself.
Go for it.
Massage yourself.
Don't mind me,
so,
guys.
So fucking he's spending the night because we like went to South Lake this day or something like that. No. We went to South Lake the day of
I
that
don't
we were
remember.
leaving.
I don't remember what we did.
Yeah, I do some because we went to like a pizza place and we went to South Lake afterwards because my dad needed to get some
I
sleep.
just remembered hyperventilating.
Yeah. Anyway, so
It's
he's
a nice
spending
time.
the night so we can spend some time together because that's basically
Yeah.
how it's going to be for Florida, and that's the context of the
Yeah.
story. Like we were just trying to get to know each other a
Yeah,
little bit more.
and
before
again,
came
we
to-
were both pretty young.
yeah, we were
freshmen.
Yeah,
in high
we
school.
were like
Yeah.
13. We were 14. We were 14, right? I turned 15
Yeah,
freshman
yeah,
year
it was
because I turned
14.
16 sophomore. Yeah.
So young as hell.
Yeah, we were.
and
really
I
fucking
was.
young.
I mean, I still have a little bit of that shy side, but for the most part, I've kind of kicked
Right.
that off.
Right.
But I was. To add to his defense, really, I was super shy. So I didn't really like asking for things and
Yeah.
so on and so forth at that time. So we were sleeping over at his house, and he was being a nice guy, and he's like, oh, do you want to use the guest bed? Because you have one under
I had a
yours.
guest room. Yeah.
Or no, you have a bed under yours, right?
They call it bunk bed?
No, I didn't.
You did?
I did. Oh yeah, I did have a bed. Okay, so at this time I had my old bed thing, and it was really cool because it was this big fucking thing and had shelves behind me and everything. And
Yeah.
it was, the only problem it was noisy as fuck.
Yeah.
Probably because it was really old. But yeah, there was a bed. I kept a bed under there for sleepovers, so I would pull it out and I'd give them a pillow and a blanket, and so they could sleep on it. But I got rid of that at some certain point, and now I have like this really small gesture just to give my room a little bit more space. But anyway,
You never started time.
no,
I forgot it.
There's a timer on there. I'm paying attention. We're at 19.
19.
Anyway,
Oh, we
but
got time.
yeah, so that's what he was talking about. Like, I had a bed. I also did have a guest room though, and I think I offered you both.
Yeah.
Or I even offered you my bed, or
Yeah.
something like that.
Yeah, but I was I was one of those kids that was like, didn't want to really accept anything, just kind of wanted to be
Right.
as
We
polite as
barely
possible.
knew each other.
Yeah, so it was understandable. And he does have a defense there, but so he offered those things, and I was like, no, I'll be okay, and he's like, okay. So he didn't really have a plan B. So he gave me 2 towels. He gave me one towels, not even blankets,
Yeah.
straight towals, like those gritty,
Yeah,
put my head on it, it
towels.
was like sandpaper.
Yeah,
like,
because my mom at that point hadn't bought the new ones yet.
Yeah.
So it was really fucking.
Yeah,
bad.
anyways, so I was sleeping on 2 towels, one for a pillow, one for a blanket. I was like, okay, this is ass, but whatever. I could do it. I can sleep anywhere, right? It wasn't like super out there. But, so I was doing that, and back note, or kind of a fun fact, I'm allergic to cats.
Same.
And
What?
Joey just so happened to have a cat.
Yeah, I have 2 cats.
Yeah. You have 2?
Yeah, I have 2. I have
Oh,
Annie,
shit.
but Annie keeps to herself. She's old. She just likes to chill out in a corner. And
I forgot. you
she's
did.
literally 2 feet away from the litter box at all times because
Yeah.
she can't hold shit. I'm being for real. Like she's a crusty old cat, and I
Yeah.
love her.
Well, you're the one cat.
Abby. Abby's the social one, and like social as in like she'll go up to you, but
Yeah,
she
she's
won't like
super
love on
nice.
you. Yeah.
And also, it's
Until you
important
fuck
to
with her.
know, like, I'm not like super against cats. Like,
Yeah,
I
yeah.
like cats. It's just they make me sneeze and shit. So
Dang.
I'm allergic, and it's on my body. It's like okay, but once it gets to my face, that's whenever I start to break out in hives and all that stuff.
Mhm.
So
Hives are fucking weird. I hate that word.
so his cat was chilling on the
Oh, yeah.
towels.
You know what story I'm going to tell after this?
Huh.
My allergic reaction story, I believe.
Oh,
Yeah.
bro, we are going
Allergic
down the
reaction.
yeah,
timeline.
for sure. Yeah.
It's like the timeline.
Yeah.
That's a funny ass story.
It is
Not
a really
because he
funny
almost
story.
died.
Yeah, I mean, like even then, like I was only taking myself half serious because, like, one, I knew I wasn't gonna die. Like, I had made it to the hospital on time. I was chilling, but I pop jokes to alleviate stress whenever I'm in a very tense situation.
Yeah.
So I'm like hanging on a thread, and I'm just left and right. And I'm like, oh man, I look better than this on a good day. Like just something fucking funny to try and get myself to
Meanwhile,
calm
his
down.
esophagus is closing.
No, absolutely. I was gonna make the
Suffocating.
most of my breath
Yeah.
while I had it.
Anyways,
But anyway, yeah, keep going. Keep going.
We'll come back to that. So, where was I? Towels.
The
Your
cat
cat was on the
towels.
towels. Yeah. So the towels I was sleeping on for a pillow and blanket, the cat was using earlier. So I didn't know that. And then a couple hours later, he's passed out.
Yeah.
And I wake up and I got all these hives and stuff, and I try to wash my face in the bathroom and stuff. And at this point, I'm like, I
You
can't
sounded like what is it? Sans from fucking Undertale.
Oh boy.
That's meta meme shit. Like I don't know if you've ever played. Keep
Nah,
going.
I've
Keep
seen
going.
one.
Yeah, keep
Yeah,
going.
I see where you're going with that.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I felt like shit, and I stayed up all night and just I forgot what I did, but I just remember being up all night, not being able to breathe properly.
That's a good song by Blink-182.
Wheezing the whole.
Yeah,
Not being able to breathe properly.
It
That's a good song.
wasn't fun. It wasn't fun. And again, this is where that kind of like nice guy kind of bites me in the ass because I was being so what's the word I'm looking for? Or like overly
You were trying
polite.
to,
You could be
like,
overly polite. Like I
impose.
wasn't trying to bug him.
You were
You
trying
really,
to like
you really
impose.
can't be overly polite.
Yeah, I mean that's the thing, and that's just how I was. And now I'm just an asshole. Anyways,
Yeah. Character development.
Times have changed.
yeah, I learned after that you gotta be
Yeah.
a dick to get anywhere in life. No, so I sat there all night, and then Carter had a similar situation, but we should have him on, and he can.
Oh yeah, that'd be.
That's right.
If only he didn't work Sundays, honestly.
Yeah. Anyways,
Yeah, keep going.
I'm kind of done with mine.
Oh,
And then I woke up, and then I told the story for 5 years.
and years
5 years.
And we're still going.
Yeah, still going.
Shit happened to Carter, and now he backs you up on it.
Yeah.
I'm like,
2v1. He's like,
Dang, bro.
shit.
Dude, I have a sleepwalking. I thought that was gonna be a sleepwalking story, but I have another.
oh yeah,
I
yeah,
was
you
like-
two, yeah.
We
Yeah,
can
no,
backtrack. Go,
yeah,
go,
dude.
go for it. You're good.
So
And we've
Yeah,
been
we've
the
kinda been
primary
talking the
talkers.
whole
yeah.
time.
I know, dude. I was just
Yeah,
like,
go
listen,
for it.
no, cause like between this relationship or like friendship or like group of us, I met Cameron. like 6 months ago.
Yeah, we
6
did
months
not
ago.
meet long ago.
Yeah, dude. We were at freshman orientation
Yeah.
for TCC,
Uh-huh.
and then we just like started talking or whatever. And I forgot. Like
Well,
we
yeah.
exchanged because they were like, "Oh, get contacts or whatever, so you can know people." So we just started exchanging numbers,
Yeah.
and I got yours, and then I saw you, like Tuesday morning. I was like, "Bro, what's up?" And we just talked, and
Yeah.
we just kind of
Met up
there. Yeah, dude.
And it was
Lunchtime.
kind of crazy because I got you and one other guy's number, and I haven't talked to the other guy since.
Yeah, dude.
And I was really doing it because, like, coming to TCC, I kind of saw, like, a lot of business opportunities. So I was like, oh,
Yeah.
I got to network with as many people as possible, right?
Same.
So I was trying to meet people because that's the cool thing about community colleges.
Yeah, that's
And you know what? I haven't been to university, so it could be similar.
yeah.
But
I think-
but kids.
I think university is a little bit more high pressure. Like you got to stick to the class
Yeah.
schedule.
Well, you'll show.
Community
Yeah.
college is a lot of
They
leniency.
expect. I feel like they expect more too. Like community college. I mean, like not to discredit it, but is like people say it's like, oh, it's a little easier or whatever.
No,
or,
that's not where I
it's
was
not.
going.
No, it's not.
Right,
It's
right,
not.
right,
But
right.
it's just like you're trying to go there and you want to. I think with any college, like whatever, you want to build friendships and relationships because those are like things that will help you later on down the road. And you never know when you might need one to like get through the door
Exactly.
of like something or
And
anything.
the reason I was doing it is because since I started going to TCC, even orientation, it seemed like there's a bit of an older crowd.
Yeah.
You know,
yeah.
I have
Um,
I have like a 40-year-old in my government class right now.
I have a freaking 60-year-old.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah,
You're
It's
never too old.
different.
he
Yeah.
was super cool, and he's in my.
Oh,
he's
absolutely,
actually in my U.S. history class.
Really?
Next semester. Yeah.
And there's some people that just like really like it or they want to
learn a little bit more.
or just like
Absolutely.
finally get their education, which I
Or-
totally like. I'm like,
Or,
bro, just go
sometimes
for
when
it.
you're older and you're retired, you got that pension about you. Like you,
Yeah.
you don't have a lot to do. So if you want to put yourself into a class to learn something, go for
Yeah,
it.
and you know what?
Nothing
He's
wrong with
they're
learning.
super cool. But anyways, I was going with that is there's a little bit of an older crowd,
Mhm.
and it seems like a lot more people. Again, haven't been to university, so don't take my word for this. But it seems like a lot more people are kind of doing their own thing. Like people,
Oh, yeah,
a lot of
definitely.
those people. Not to discredit anybody going to university, but a lot of the kids going to TCC, you know, they were paying for it themselves.
Yep.
Right.
Yeah.
So they
Well,
kind
that's what
of
I'm doing.
exactly, and me too. So it was kind of just like I saw the crowd like they're a little bit more go getter, like start their own thing, and you know I'm more of an entrepreneur, so I saw that as like networking opportunity.
Yeah, absolutely.
Anyways, that was just
yeah.
giving
for
a
sure,
general
for sure.
background to where coming back to
Yeah, yeah.
Right. That's how they
And
started talking.
Yeah, so we met up.
Networked, and then like after that, we ended up having like the same lunch or quote lunch
yeah, and
hours
the
or
thing
whatever.
Is, the thing is, I didn't think I was gonna see you again, honestly.
I didn't either.
And he came down the hall. You were coming down the hall at the same
and
time.
I saw you eating, or like it was like 8 in the morning because
Yeah.
classes didn't even start till like 9:30. I was like, let me get there early so I can like learn who everything is. And I saw you. I was like, bro, what's up?
Yeah, and you met me and you met Esteban too. That's where you
Yeah.
met Esteban.
Oh yeah, that's where I saw Esteban, and then he
Uh-huh.
just kind of, I saw him like once or twice after that. Cause,
Yeah.
but I mean,
We gotta get him on here too.
yeah, no man. But it was
Tons
it
of guest
kind of
speakers.
yeah, tons of. We'll make a list every day, every other like episode,
Every
whatever.
day, every day,
All right,
every day,
guys,
every
make
day.
a list of 20. We're gonna pile this whole room.
Yeah, this is
full
small
of-
ass for
Or like
everyone.
rotate.
Yeah, we'll
It's
rotate.
like-
Okay, Esteban, come in. He's out there,
Esteban,
he
it's your
can
turn.
Next.
Next in line, number 64.
Number 30.
We're like the DMV, like
Oh, you just, like-
163.
You have to like draw the ticket whenever you come into the room. Just like, oh, ticket 34. Can you please come?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Why you tickling? Anyways,
What?
Boy.
Oh, the sleepwalking story.
Yeah,
What did I get?
you
What did I
we
get?
keep getting off
You
track.
gave
yeah.
an introduction about
Yeah,
how
we
met.
gave
Oh,
context
yeah.
as to how you met because
Yeah,
you were
yeah,
going to segue into that.
Yeah, I was.
Oh.
So,
Sorry to interrupt you. After you're done, I got a funny story about how I met Noah too. I don't think he remembers, but anyways, go ahead.
all right. So, it was.
Oh boy.
No, man. I'm pretty sure I was like 7th grade, and I was this thing called like Pathfinders. And Pathfinders is like legit, like it's kind of like Boy Scouts and Girl Scouts, but like combined within the church or whatever.
Yeah.
And like, you know, they would go camping and they would have camporees. And I was there and I was outside and I was like laying on the tent, but from outside. I was like leaning up, like looking out, because like honestly, like here, like in the big city, it's hard to see stars.
Yeah.
And you can't ever see that. And then we're out in the country. I was like, oh shoot, like I can see stars here. I was just laying there and I fell asleep outside the tent. And all I remember is like clicking, like flashing, like my eyes are like opening or whatever, and like I'm in someone else's tent, and there was like a girl.
What's up, fuckers?
And I was like, she's like, what are you doing in my tent? I was like, oh shit, like I'm so sorry. And it just like, and then I zoned out, like it just like went black. And, like, I don't even remember it. And then, like, I woke up again, and I was inside my
I have
tent.
a funny story about that, too.
And, like, someone's, like, talking to me. I'm like, what? I was like, okay, I'm
it's not a
going.
camping story. It's the blackout story.
Dang. And, like, I was like, okay, I'm going. And I fell asleep. And they explained to me, like, the next morning, like, I was, like, walking around the campsite, and they were trying to get me back into my tent. And I guess, like, one of the guys there was, he was our counselor or whatever, and he was, like, a doctor. And I don't know how he figured it out, but he said, yeah, he knew that I was sleepwalking, so he's, like, trying to, like, guide me in to, like, my tent or whatever, so I could, like, go sleep. And then, it was just weird, because I was, like, apparently I was walking around the campsite, and then, like, I finally went to sleep. And then I was talking to somebody, too, and I don't remember, like, any of it. And besides that, that was, like, my only, like, recall of anything, but that's always, like, stuck. I was like, bro, what the heck? Like, I've never sleepwalked before. Well, like, from my knowledge, I haven't ever.
I know you have a story.
Yeah, I was gonna make a joke. I was like, if I have kids someday, and that fucker sleepwalks into my room and stands over me, I have a fear of this. I would lose my shit if I woke up and somebody was standing over me. You know. So if my kid did that, he's getting a fucking right hook to the face.
Right.
Oh, sorry, Jimmy, I didn't see you there. Get out of my room.
Daddy, can I get some milk?
Yeah.
What are you doing in my
I
room?
had a bad dream. Okay, so I have a funny story to go along with camping.
Dang. I have an irrational fear, like, I feel like a lot of people have this, like, whenever you, like, dangle your feet over the bed, like, something's gonna grab you.
I don't even think that's, like, an irrational fear, though, because I'm almost positive there's been documented cases of people, like, there have been people who've broken into houses and will be under your bed.
Okay,
and, like,
don't tell me that,
for
man.
you.
I do not want to know.
Hey, when y'all leave, I got sleep in here.
Why do you think I have such a low to the ground, like...
Hey, well, I don't.
I don't stand next to my bed, like, if I'm, like, within, like, 2 feet, like, I would, like, jump onto it.
Really?
I'll turn off the lights, I'll, like, jump onto my bed.
I'm at the point in my life where I'm so fucking done with everything that I'll turn off my light and walk to my bed. I'm like, if something grabs me, something grabs me.
Honestly, what you gotta do is you walk to your bed, you say, if you came here to kill me, clap your hands.
Take me now. No,
I'll
like,
give you one free shot, but if you miss, I may give you another.
You're my
please not tonight. Maybe tomorrow. Tonight's not a good night. No,
Tonight's
but
not a
like,
good night. Oh,
I had like in my room, I had rearranged it and
It's
I
hard to
shifted
get-
my bed.
It's hard to get used to that.
Yeah, exactly.
after
I
a few
shifted
days,
my
yeah.
bed and I jumped and I missed. I hit the edge because I was about to jump and I remembered it was on the other side of the room. So like I kind of saved it, but like I landed like halfway and like smacked it to the ground. I straight ate it, but man.
he said Kobe and missed.
Okay, fellas, it's Kobe for accuracy and yeet for distance.
You know what Kobe's middle name is?
Brian?
I looked this up. Yo, it's Bean. Deadass.
Kobe Bean Bryant.
Kobe Bean Bryant.
Like
B-E-A-N.
Kobe Bean Bryant.
B-E.
This has
Yeah.
been Kobe Bean Bryant.
Google it real fast, Noah, just so people aren't like.
Just to make sure, Kobe.
fucking lying.
This fucker's lying.
Anyways, okay, so
What's
camping,
Kobe's middle name?
yeah. So, camping story.
Yeah.
Right. So I was in Oregon with some family. This was like.
Oregon.
Yeah. They live out there. My mom's side.
No, like,
Yeah.
stupid fucking joke.
Just shut the
I was in Oregon. Oregon?
Oregon? You were.
I misspelled his name. But it's
You
Bean.
misspelled Kobe?
It's dead ass bean. Wow,
Okay.
what the fuck? Anyway, keep
You're
going.
welcome.
What if it had like some biblical like importance? It's like that was Jesus' middle name or something.
Dude, my
You
name
guys
Jesus being Christ.
Dude, no, my name.
See, this is how we're adding value to our viewers. Now they know the middle name of Kobe.
Kobe Bean. Yeah, hey,
Do
you
they
learn
give a-
something new every day.
Do they give a
fellas.
shit? Maybe not, but hey.
This podcast is for ages 5 and up.
No, dude, my name, actually, like, in Hebrew, is supposed to mean, what's the meaning of Caleb?
My government
Is,
teacher likes me because of my name.
Really?
Yeah, he's
Really?
like, Joseph is a cool name. I'm gonna, like, because he has trouble remembering names, but he's never had trouble remembering mine.
Be like, try Hoey.
Hoey.
Joey.
Anyways.
Yeah,
Camping story.
Yeah.
So I was in Oregon with some family. This was a few years back because I haven't been there in forever. Anyways, we were staying out there and we went camping, and this was one of the first times. I think this was actually the first time I went seriously camping. Right? It was still on a camping ground, but I mean, we were backed up by like beaches and nature and shit. So, anyways, It's like super tall trees. Like it's super beautiful out there. But it was nighttime, and I kind of had a fear. Like I was like, I really had.
It's a good story. Gotta break out the chips.
I really had to pee, right? I kind of do now. But anyways, besides the point. I really had to pee.
The chips.
And I was trying to like find a spot, right? And I was kind of.
And there was a pause.
ASMR chip eating. Anyways, and I was trying to find a
Loud,
spot. And
crunchy
it
on the
was
mic.
dark. It was dark.
Crunchy boy.
I'm
Right.
gonna like go up to the mic and just like.
Please don't.
Jesus. Yeah, I just heard like 50 viewers just say, "Okay, I'm done."
Oh, he wants chips too.
Yeah, why not?
Sorry, I probably should have
Like,
passed you the
reach
bag.
over.
Sorry.
I'm
It's all
so
right,
sorry,
bro.
guys.
You shouldn't have brought the chips till afterwards.
Noah.
Yeah, crap.
So, anyways,
I will punch you in the nose.
I was trying to find a spot, right? So it was still dark. I hadn't really pulled out a I hadn't pulled out a flashlight, and I'm looking for a spot, right? So
No more snacks on the podcast.
I know, for real. So I found the spot.
This is the best part.
No, you said 5 words in your crunchy
This-
chip.
this
This counts
is
as
the-
his commentary.
This is the
No one
snack
didn't
bread.
talk. They're like typing. No one didn't talk the whole time. Did you hear my crunching?
The crunchy boy.
Who's consistent?
Dude, let me see this.
I was looking for a spot, right?
Who's consistent?
I found the spot. I pulled down my pants. I was gonna go pee. Why is that so funny?
Because that could have been like a really
I found the spot. I pulled down my pants.
sexual connotation.
Okay,
So-
listen.
I hope nobody like pauses the video and comes back to that on accident. Like forgets the context.
Yeah, Grandma, if you're watching or listening, I'm sorry.
Grandma, if you're watching,
Why are
this
you
still
pulling
in
down
it.
your pants? I was pissing. So I was gonna take a pee, and I swear, I was like, okay, going,
No.
and I hear hello.
Hello.
Dude, I'm not kidding, and I was just like, dude, like. It
I
like
was
it's
back
you know how it's usually hard to stop peeing? It was not hard, dude. That thing was like gone.
My hole was closed.
My dick gone.
Just shrunk into your body.
Hey, it's 2018, bro. This turned into a transformer. It's just like, whoop.
Yeah. We've evolved.
Oh my gosh.
Dang,
Anyways,
Oh.
so that happened, and I didn't finish my piss. So I kind of just held it, and it was terrible. I'm surprised I didn't get like a UTI. But yeah,
Dang, dude. Sometimes it's actually it's hard to stop.
yeah.
It's like once it's going,
Yeah.
like
Have you ever heard of the clinch and switch? You remember that?
The what?
You don't remember that?
I don't think you're
From cross country, and if you're okay, and some
we did
people
that
are
in
really
like, public
gonna.
school. They would like try
Cross country
to.
was a good time.
Yeah, we had some things I'm not
We
gonna
had
talk
some.
about.
We had some very interesting people. In that.
But there, I mean, I think this is basic locker room stuff, but I don't know. Oh, my bad. It was just my finger, so sorry for shaking you guys.
My fucking finger. I once killed a man with this pinky.
I shook a table with this.
Was it
and-
from Ratatouille?
No, it's called. Have you ever heard of the clinch? It's clinch and switch. So you buy someone in the urinals,
No, you're right.
and somebody else
Yeah.
clinch and switch, and you both have to hold it and switch urinals.
I've never seen
Yeah,
that
it's
done.
just terrible.
I would never been able to do that. I would have like made it halfway across and it's just like,
Just make sure when you switch, you go behind them.
You're like going behind him. You're like, oh shit, man, got some piss on your side.
pissed on his leg.
Oh no. So besides this, Noah thought he escaped.
Mhm.
I want to talk about
Story time.
how I met him.
Oh,
Yeah.
sorry.
So I know this is all over the place.
This
but
is
I,
this whole podcast has been story time.
yeah, I
Story
think it's
time.
good though. I think it's good
No,
though.
no,
It gives
for
us
sure.
good-
Yeah.
It gives good background.
It gives a good reflection of
Yeah.
who we are as people.
Yeah.
Talking about how we pee.
Yeah, my favorite. Yummy. Anyways, so Noah, how I met him. So we were in the same. What class was that? Algebra.
It
Algebra
was
1.
Mrs. Roberts. I think it was just general math.
Yeah, but it was like advanced. It was like
Yeah.
I don't know.
It
Advanced
wasn't
for
algebra
7th
yet.
grade. So it was 7th grade then.
Right.
But we had the same homeroom too, and he doesn't really remember this, but Noah always used to have.
Oh no.
Erections in
No,
class.
yeah.
Dude, I had this kid.
I thought nobody
That's gonna
noticed.
sound so.
Hey everybody, look at my pants tent.
Oh no.
Oh man, there's this kid in my class. It was like
Oh
8th
no,
grade,
I don't
7th,
wait till
8th.
this going.
And I mean, he would it would happen to him, and he would always like hug his backpack on his lap whenever he was like,
No.
he would like do his work, and he was hugging.
Nobody
his
liked
I
it.
backpack.
I was that kid. Like, if I had a boner, I would put something on my lap so people would, because
You just like hug his
Not-
backpack, and
not
you're like,
the
oh,
back,
looking neat, but
a
like,
little. No, but like, it was just when it was obvious. It was obvious, you know.
You
so
gotta
it's
wear
like
it.
I gotta.
I think it was like that
shit.
age group
Just
that
wear
you just
compression
didn't know
shorts,
what
you're
the
fine.
heck to
Yeah.
do.
Why is it groaning?
Oh
The
shit!
worst is when it's like right before the bells get
I've got
ring.
a funny
You're
ass.
like, oh god, think of something gross.
I've got a. I've got
It was
a.
like,
He's
oh,
like, I don't want to say
I'm just
that.
gonna sit here and like finish my work for like an extra 2 or 3 minutes.
Anyways.
I've got a like. I'm gonna let you finish. But
No,
like,
go ahead. I was referring
I
to
have a funny ass sex ed story right after you're done.
sex ed.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah. Look forward to that, folks.
No. Like, I'm being like it's
I
not.
never
it's not-
actually had an official.
You guys will
Math
fucking
class.
laugh at this. I promise.
Okay, I'll get through this real fast.
Yeah, go for it.
So we were in the same math class, and we got paired up to do a project, and it was
Oh, yeah.
wasn't it how we were gonna live
I'm
together?
pretty sure
or
we gotta
something?
choose our partners, and like we kind of sort of
Did
knew
we?
each other a little bit.
Oh.
I remember you remember Kane Villanueva.
Yeah,
We're both like kind of friends with
Yeah.
him, so we're
I don't know
around
how
each
Kane's
other a
doing.
little bit.
yeah, but we
I still have a Snapchat
we-
streak with that dude.
really.
Yeah.
He follows me on Twitter and I don't follow him back.
Uh,
Kane, if you're watching this, I'm sorry.
Yeah, he's
Hey.
definitely listening, and now Blaine and him both have smoke with you.
Rolls up to the
And we'll
house.
just smoke.
We can take them off the guest list.
No,
No.
Killer Crips,
Cross the name off.
Killer Crypt.
So, anyways, where's I going with that?
This
Yeah,
was a great story.
we had the budget, and like we had a certain amount of income.
I'm gonna tell us at your wedding. I hope you
And
know.
yeah, bro, I'm excited for that. So we had a certain amount of money per month. I don't remember numbers, but we agreed that we would stay in
were.
like we would stay in a 1-bedroom apartment, eat ramen every night, but we would have a Lamborghini.
We got a Lambo.
Oh,
So it all worked out, didn't
So
we?
you guys are
We were-
dying slowly, but we got a Lambo.
But we got a
But do
Lambo.
you have a Lamborghini?
Do you have a Lamborghini?
The thing is, we got.
Well,
we
do
got,
you
like,
have proper
assigned-
nutrients?
We got assigned like different
It's chicken
occupations
flavor. It's
or whatever.
Yeah.
We got assigned occupations and like certain salaries.
And we
everything.
shared it too.
We were a warehouse manager.
Can you imagine pulling up to Amazon? You're like, all right, hold my Lambo keys, valet.
We got exactly 40,000 a year. I'm pretty sure.
What was your teacher
Hey
think?
man, can I
That's
take the
not the
Lambo out
Yeah,
today?
it's-
Bro, that was such a terrible idea. First off, the car is depreciating at crazy values because we
Here
didn't
we
have,
go,
we didn't
second-
even have a good one. We had
The
a
information
Gallardo.
segment with Cameron.
We had a Gallardo, which is like the worst, or like not the worst. I mean, like for a Lamborghini, the cheapest like you can get, and we were sharing it. It was devaluing. We were eating ramen every night.
Oh, you guys
I don't
had to
know
share
how
the
hell we thought-
Lamborghini?
Yeah, I don't know how the hell we thought about it, but we did.
What's Cameron talking about?
What did your
No,
teacher
have you seen the?
thinking?
Have you seen
On this
the?
episode.
We've sent this into the group chat. Like we're gonna
Yeah,
add you
yeah.
to the group chat.
We did.
Yeah, me too.
But it's the what's kid be thinking about
Yeah.
when you were talking. I'm like, there's gonna be this part of the podcast where you start talking about like economics and,
Go off on a
and shit
Cameron
like that,
tangent.
and they're like, what?
Economics? That was not.
I don't know.
Y'all
You
wanna do
said
some
no.
economics?
You
Alright,
said
let's get that.
no. You said I'm talking about like technical things. Like I just know you.
Like a 1 or
economically,
2
yeah.
minute segment where you just like rant on like some sort
Oh,
of.
y'all want to hear that? We'll get technical for like 60 seconds, and then we'll get back to the bullshit.
Anyway, okay, so my,
Like a
my
musical
funny fucking.
section.
Okay, so it's.
That's
I'm
actually a
gonna,
pretty good idea.
I'm
Yeah, do that.
Yeah, I'm gonna set the
Much
stage.
like
Okay,
flame segments.
Write that down. I'm right.
Write that down.
I'm gonna set the stage.
It has to be random too, bro. We gotta do that. Like we'll just be talking,
What?
and then you just
Have, like,
what Cameron? I'm like, oh,
Political power.
mitochondria.
This is what's Cameron talking? This is a segment where we Google controversial topics. And we try to address them without offending
No,
anyone.
but okay, so I'm gonna set the stage for you guys. It's
Paint me a
like
picture.
it's like 5th grade, right? And sex ed is mandatory.
Oh, I never did that.
Yeah, we went to the same fucking
I thought
school.
we had to like get our parents.
You don't
Okay,
remember
wait,
this
wait,
like
wait.
I do.
No.
So I
Was
went
it
to
the-
a.
Was it just the presentation? I remember
It
a
was like a
presentation
video.
over like they
It
were
was
like,
a
okay,
video.
STDs. Here are warts on a.
No,
Okay,
it's not
so-
that. It was,
That's weird. That's disgusting.
Okay, yeah. I didn't know about STDs until I read them in a book. But
Yeah.
anyway, so it's 5th grade. We're in the gym. They separated boys and girls. Girls went to the small gym. Boys went to the big gym. And we watched a video.
Oh,
and
no.
the one thing I couldn't tell you fucking anything else about this video except this conversation between a dad and his younger son who was like maybe 9 or 10. Like, it looked like it, probably around our age. You know, so it's this, you know, have you guys ever seen Hallmark movies?
Yeah.
It's basically a Hallmark movie about sex. And so, which don't go together at all because Hallmark is super Christian. But, like, so the conversation starts and they're talking about whatever. And the kid, like, after a long pause, the kid's like, Dad, what if I can't roll with the big boys? And he's like, oh, son, he thought he was talking about his height. He's like, oh, you're going to grow taller over time. And he's just like, no, that's not what I meant. And he's like, oh, you're talking about your penis size. Like, in this deep voice. And like, and that's
naturally, that's the second thing you go to.
I know. I was like, that's the only fucking thing I remember from that video. And thinking, how the fuck do you naturally segue that? Like, you just bring up, like, the writers of that video is just like, this is how we're going to bring up dick size.
Honestly, when I was in 7th grade, I was not thinking about that.
Yeah. I was already watching porn.
You were now.
So it's like,
Dude, like
you're way behind, buddy.
a couple years behind. No, dude, I actually never at my school. Like, I went to this small school. Like, it was like this.
Can you imagine Noah in freaking 5th grade with that? Oh God, no.
What you mean?
No, he was talking about porn, and you were like, oh well. And I was like, imagine you in 5th grade, and I'm like, yeah, that would not be a thing.
He walks into the big gym as soon as the guy's like, oh, you mean your penis size? And he's like,
All right.
okay, gotta go.
Penis?
Is that the worm between my legs?
Yeah. Okay. So like.
Sorry.
At my old school, it was like you know how everybody does it in like 5th grade. We actually didn't have, like, it was a small private school, or whatever, and they didn't do like one of those sex ed films, or like the sex ed. Like, they didn't actually do it.
They didn't want to talk to you about it.
They didn't. They wouldn't even like really address the situation.
No.
It was like they would just like kind of like hit on it, and they wouldn't really like. They would be like, "Oh, there's guy parts and girl parts," and they tried to hit on the topic. They would actually do it.
Don't worry about that.
Quickie, don't worry about it.
Everybody listening is not being graced by what we're doing physically.
Like, I didn't even realize this was going on. Like, I looked back and
I'm listening. No, I'm 100% listening.
no, I was just like thrown off at what's going on behind me.
No, I'm listening. I'm listening. I'm listening.
I'm listening. I hear you loud.
Why they're shaking their hands behind them.
Yeah. Okay, keep going.
I hope they're just clapping their hands.
Dude, I watched. There was this like meme. This girl had walked into her house, and like all you hear is just. And she's like, she's crying, and she's like,
let's put age restriction on this.
Yeah, we need to put a preface that this is
Disclaimer.
Disclaimer.
This podcast is a conversation between 4 teenage boys.
4 teenage.
Yeah, your discretion is advised.
No, but
jeez.
I mean, like, for example, they never really like addressed it. They never really had like different schools will have like you do the video, but like they didn't hit on it or anything. I just kind of had to figure out by myself or whatever else. Like, your friends would know more about it.
Kind
Than
of like how everyone found out Santa Claus was in it.
Oh wait,
Oh,
what?
there's probably
Spoilers.
Spoilers, Santa.
Tim Allen exists. So Santa Claus does.
No, but I remember like. I mean, I thought Santa was real, and then someone was like, "You're not real," and I'd go home, and then, you know.
You have to ask
And
them.
that's
Like,
the night that Mom told you that Santa wasn't real.
Santa wasn't real.
Yeah, I cried.
I took that news really well. No, I took
You
that
did?
news really fucking
Bro,
well.
I heard that, I was like, you lied!
I don't.
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't think I ever really like believed.
I was,
Santa. I was like, I knew he was like, it was like a thing, but I never really, like believed it. I was like, oh, I
no,
remember
I
having
agree
like
with that.
a no
I'm
Santa Claus
100% on
moment.
that.
How far are we in?
We're
Are we 40 minutes? I feel like we're...
We're at 47. Let's just go to an hour. Like, a podcast is 40 to
Oh,
an
shit,
hour.
we're 47.
Yeah, but we can close.
Conclusion.
All the way, boys.
We can close out with
Conclusion:
this, 'cause this
Santa
like,
is not real.
This is right. No,
That'd be the title.
we can go out with this because this is like a legitimate like subject,
Okay.
kind of. Okay, so I always find it really weird that like I mean I'm 19 now, which is still really fucking young, but I'm 19 now, and looking back, I can realize that like I'm going back to like the sex and the porn and everything like that. But I'm not gonna joke about it. I'm gonna be real. Like when you're doing it as an individual, you think it's this big shameful. Oh my god, why am I doing this? You know, but like. In retrospect, the more people you talk to as adults, the more you realize that like a lot of people did this. Like it's a normal thing, and completely normal and whatever. So that kind of alleviates that weight. I carried a lot of weight with that.
As
I
far
was
as,
just
like,
like,
yeah.
yeah, because I'm holy shit, I'm so disgraceful. But like,
Yeah.
not only was everybody really doing it, it was such a normal pubescent thing. Like you're going through puberty.
Like you go back and you talk to people about it, and they're like, "Oh yeah, like I used to do that."
Yeah,
or
they're really open
Like,
with you about it. It
and
kind of
everybody's
makes
like-
you think like maybe
Because
I
you would
wasn't
think you're
really
like
that
the
different,
only
you
one,
know?
or
Yeah.
like, dude, that's like legit.
Yeah.
Everybody.
That can be said for a lot of things too.
Yeah,
like,
that's true.
you know.
Yeah, I mean,
Kind of like the thing how I feel like sometimes adults think like you don't know, but in reality, like your friends, there's always like that one or two friends that like told you, and you're like, oh shit, like I already knew.
Right.
Like you know,
Right.
you wouldn't expect,
yeah.
but you end up finding about like different
And
stuff.
the experience is different for everybody. They
Yeah,
carry
that's
their own weight and thought process with it. But I think the colloquialism of that sort of activity is just gnarly. You know, it's fucking
Gnarly.
weird. You don't fucking think about it. You don't think
Yeah.
that like everybody's doing what I'm doing right now. You think, oh my god, I'm the worst person in the world for doing
yeah.
this.
I mean, honestly, I didn't really see it as kind of like shameful. Per se, the only thing that I don't like about consumption of, and this isn't just like pornography in general.
Right.
This goes for like, you could be watching too much TV, and obviously different things have
Or
different
like food,
eating
eating certain foods.
different
or
things
doing
have different
certain things. Yeah,
stimulus.
Right.
but you know it affects your dopamine
Yeah.
levels, right?
Yeah,
So
that's
you know
That's
when you start to
dope. It's dope.
that's dope, yeah, until you screw them up, but.
You're
You know,
100% right though.
Once you start to do it, your body kind of wants more and more,
Yeah.
and it wants that feeling, and you kind of mess with those dopamine levels. So it's almost harder to become happy or like stimulated in a lot of ways. So in some ways, I think anything can be too much. You can have too much of anything, right?
Yeah.
You could eat a bunch of cake. It pretty much does the same thing.
Yeah.
You can eat a piece of cake and be fine. It's a problem when you eat cake every day and things like that.
I
That's
think
what-
everything like within moderation. I
Yeah.
guess.
Yeah, that's just I don't know. I just found it really weird that you have this mystical idea in your head that you're the only person doing this, and then the second you find out that somebody else is, it
yeah.
opens this big
Yeah.
perception.
I-
Yeah,
You know,
and it kind of is like relieving though, because then
It
some
is- no,
people
it
are
for
like
real is.
with anything
It's
in
stressful to
general,
think that you're the only
because you're
person going
like
through something.
you realize that there's like someone else that's going through that. There's someone else that understands
Where you're
what's
coming
going.
from.
Yeah, exactly. And
Right,
they're like, hey, like I made it
normalizes the
through.
concept a little bit more.
And whatever, like I said, like whatever it is, like you can be going through, but it's just like you realize that someone else, like either they made it through or they're going through the same thing, they can understand or they can somehow relate to
Yeah.
a certain situation or certain feeling or like anything that you're going through, and it really does kind of help.
Yeah,
It's really
I like how this is going. Like we're getting super in depth, but our original topic was pornography. That's kinda,
right.
That's kind of
but
funny.
you can really take anything seriously if you want to.
I
Yeah.
think it's like you were saying. It's good to have people to relate to,
Right.
and kind of share
Yeah.
those things.
It's again because it normalizes the concept. It's not. It's
You're not
it
seen.
doesn't- it
You're not
doesn't
seen
become
as an
some-
outcast.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it doesn't
yeah.
become this big stellar. Oh my God, I'm the only one burdened with this. It's we all do this. It's normal. You know,
And I
it's
feel
a
like-
human nature kind of.
And I feel like if you ever do feel like you're kind of a burden, or like you're the only one doing it, that almost like digs a deeper hole.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Because you feel like you feel stuck, you feel trapped, and there's
Yeah.
no way out. And you know what? I think that's what's really good about social media. Like even
Oh,
thi-
yeah.
things
Social media has
Hey
a lot
guys,
of drawbacks to
confession
it, but a
time.
lot of
Yes.
it has a lot of positives
Yes,
to it too.
but
Yeah, it
we'll
does.
talk
Like,
about
it can be
positive.
used to-
Because I mean,
Yeah.
we could talk about the dozens of negatives, but we'll focus on the positives.
Right,
So that's how
absolutely. It has dozens of positive. It's more balanced than people really.
Yeah.
It's like anything, like it can be used. Social media, used in the right way, is a tool
Yeah,
because people can use
it
it
can
to.
get a lot of good things done.
Really does. You
Yeah.
can spread
Yeah.
word, like use it for support. Like people are
Find people
there who
similar.
are like
Yeah,
I mean,
it's just a modern medium,
It
but
is.
Keep,
It really
keep going,
is.
Cameron. Sorry, we interrupted you.
I was really saying pretty much that like different platforms are different, but like one I've started to get into now. It's not one of the more popular ones, but Reddit. I mean, we've all heard of it, but
Reddit's
some
really
people
interesting.
haven't used it. I really like Reddit because you can find anything on there from news to comedy and so on and so forth, and it's really what you search and what you follow
Yeah.
type stuff. But I think I was going to bring that into the point of you can kind of find people of similar backgrounds and similar struggles.
Absolutely.
Things like Reddit. Like for me, I'm in like an economics thing, or like what do you call them, chats?
Yeah.
So I'm like in an economics chat and I'm in a bodybuilding chat. So you can find people with like different backgrounds and they all ask questions and talk, and you realize you have these like common grounds. And
Yeah,
common
you
struggles.
have an outlet. You have a creative outlet.
Yeah.
One of the biggest problems, like this is gonna sound irrelevant, but it
Go
kind of
for it.
is. One of the biggest problems I have with writing music, because I'm in this group, you know, with my bandmate, and we write a specific genre of music, right? And then I'll write songs that are in another genre.
Yeah.
Because I'm very rooted in punk. Like I love that music and I write that music a lot. So it's searching for that creative outlet.
Yeah.
You know, the people you can talk to about it and write with and stuff like that. Like that's just like a thing for me. But the principle is still the same. Like with your chats and everything like that. Like I'm not a bodybuilder, dude. You can't really talk to me a whole lot about the things that you're doing. You know, because I wouldn't understand it. But now you have this outlet that you can. And social media
And
provides
it's-
that.
And it's
And
kind
it gives you another perspective. I mean, like, but it does give you like another perspective. If anything, like you're talking about bodybuilding or whatever. Like, there's people on there that may have like only 6 or 7 months trying to get into the whole bodybuilding program or
People
like
that
doing
have been
things.
there 10 years.
There's exactly. People have been there 10 years, and you're honestly getting like different perspectives,
You're getting
different
good advice on it.
ways
And
that people have addressed it.
One
and,
thing I was gonna mention, sorry to cut you off.
no, that's fine.
Is what you were saying. You can kind of find people of similar things, but I think with really anything, like yes, different genres are gonna have their different issues that are specific to them.
Absolutely.
But I think a lot of topics, like if you ask enough, like say you're having an issue and you ask why enough times and they have to keep answering, I think people having struggles that are specific to their topic, it eventually boils down to something that's the same as
Yeah.
someone else from a different topic, if that makes sense. Like me and you could have something completely different,
absolutely.
but we could have something underlying.
We
that's
find
our
that
issue.
common ground.
Yeah. Say we
Yeah.
both had problems with like, shoot, I don't know what would be an issue.
Expressionism.
Or
Expressing
expressing ourselves.
Yeah.
Yeah. Say we're both having that, but you were having trouble with writing. I'm having trouble with, say, like making a name on social media.
Right.
We may be having different issues, but
But the
after we
principle is
ask
still
why
there.
we're having those issues, it boils down to
Right.
that. So I think
Yeah.
that's a good thing about social media too.
No, I 100% agree with you. I'm just gonna preface that. I'm not saying this to like. I'm bringing up a whole different topic involved with social media, but like my parents would talk to me about. Not to get like super dark or anything like that, but like mental health and stuff. And I love my parents to death. I love them. I would take a bullet for any one of them. But it's like they don't have a grip on what mental health, what causes it. They're like, oh, it's the social media. They know a lot more than they did 3-4 years ago. But like it's social media. Yeah, I guess it can play a factor. Absolutely.
Yeah, it does.
People tend to forget about the social aspect of social media. The expectations that are already present in a society, like even in school. Like that societal expectation of being like in your clique and doing your thing and having your bar set to where you have to reach these and attain these goals, you set expectations on yourself, and that's only amplified by social media. So I get their point.
Yeah.
But you have to understand that there's so many complexities involved with mental health. Like, I'm not going to say I'm depressed because Sam or who fucking Fred or whoever on social media called me
I listened
You're
to X once.
yeah.
I listened to Juice World.
No, but I'm not gonna attribute to my depression or any sort of mental illness that I have to somebody being a dick on social media. I'm gonna attribute it to some sort of deeper meaning because there's so much shit that goes on in my head that social media is not the first thing I think of. So when they tell me that social media is the root of any sort of depression or mental illness that I would have, it's almost insulting. I see a lot of positives to social media, and my Twitter feed and Instagram and shit is full of positive stuff because I know who to follow and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So social media can be such a positive and wonderful thing.
Yeah.
And it bothers me when people will attribute that and just throw the negative on there, this big shroud of it, and refuses to acknowledge how positive it can be.
I think that that also gives like difference of, I guess, like generations in age
It is
groups.
a generational
It
difference.
is, like, as much as
I
like
hate
people
saying
say,
that.
I know, I hate it too, and they're like, oh, you don't know what I'm going through, or it's just different times, and they're like, we do, and they kind of do, because they went through the same things, like, they were a teenager too, but, like,
we
some
have the social
things that they don't understand. I'm not saying, like, all of them do, but there's some people that, like, totally understand social media, and there's other people that really don't, and they find that as, like, a way to blame and when they don't understand it, it's just like, okay, like
Dude.
they need to, and sometimes there are cases of people who they might, like, their situation might even like get better because of social media, because of, like, you know, they change their following positive
Absolutely.
Yeah.
accounts, or it's because of some sort of like online thing that's going on between them, but they're like, it's there, and there might be like one negative thing, but sometimes people have the habit of giving that one negative label and tying it to everything else.
I think
It's just-
you can go.
Yeah.
I was just gonna make a stupid comment. I was gonna say I think it's kind of ironic that the most negative thing about my Twitter is me.
Yeah.
Because I post sad, depressing lyrics and shit like that, or I'll vent. I have this whole thread of like shit that I think about when I can't sleep.
Yeah.
You know, I don't know. You don't have Twitter, so like,
No, I don't.
but
Yeah.
I think Noah's Reddit.
No, but it's a different. It's a way of expressing
Yeah,
too.
you know,
like
you know my thread that I have where I just
with all
like I
your
just can't
weird
sleep.
thoughts
So
that
yeah, I'll
keep you
throw
Yeah,
in- yeah.
Twitter's the only social media I don't really mess with.
yeah, I don't.
I did for a while. I just felt like
They have
it
good memes.
became one more like one side the other type stuff. And again, that's really dependent on who you follow and
Right.
you know, who follows you. But I mean, it is a social media platform, so it's gonna be people
Yeah.
with opposing views.
Well, absolutely.
But it just wasn't like what I liked in terms of social media.
Yeah.
I couldn't feel like I could express myself. I was always second guessing, but that's just me. Anyways, I was gonna talk back to what was I gonna say? You were talking. What were you talking about a second ago?
Oh, about how sometimes people will label. They'll find like one negative thing about social
Yeah.
media, and then sometimes they'll give
Yeah.
that label to everything
And
Yeah, a lot of it
because
is
of like lack of or
lack
lack
of
of understanding.
yeah, I was
And-
gonna mention mental health and kind of. I think social media has helped show kind of like, you know how we mentioned earlier, like with something like pornography, like
Yeah.
you know, at the time you were like, oh, you felt shameful because you were
There's a
the only one
stigmatism.
doing it.
Yeah.
Well, I think mental health and, you know, these social issues are kind of the same thing. Like
There-
people,
there's a stigmatism
people felt like
against
they
them.
were dealing with it like by themselves. They thought they were the only ones.
Right.
Cause and it's like that, you know, the older generation would kind of be like, oh, you know, yeah, it's just a phase.
It
you're
wasn't.
fine.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it wasn't a thing to them.
So
Yeah,
they didn't have social media, so they didn't have a way of like talking to other people.
Mm-hmm.
You know, they had to like talk to people in person and
And yeah, that
It kinda helps with-
That sorry.
Yeah,
to
no,
interrupt,
go ahead.
That severely decreases their availability of understanding. Like, hey, there are people who are going
Yeah.
through
yeah,
this shit. you
and it
know?
really does give people like kind of like a voice.
Yeah.
Not that they didn't have one, but it makes them more able to, if they're able to search for different outlets and find
talk
like
to different people.
Yeah.
exactly.
That's
It
what-
was
that's what
like,
I said
hey,
about-
yeah.
That's what I said about music in the '80s. It's
Yeah.
hilarious because music in the '80s. This is relevant because of this. Music in the '80s was great because everybody could make it big. Like everybody, even if you were one-hit wonders. You know,
Yeah.
there are like Looking Glass. Looking Glass is a prime example. Their one-hit wonder was a song about a maid. You know, and but it was during a time where music was such a beautiful and big thing that if you put out a record, you'd sold thousands. Like people listened to you, and now we're at a point where it's impossible to do that. So it's now that and it's the same principle with social media. Everybody has a voice now.
Yeah.
Everybody can vocalize their shit, and that gives us outlets to talk to other people who are
Yeah.
going through the same thing.
You know what I really feel, and like really like connect with. You mentioned music. When Lil Pump said Gucci Gang, Gucci Gang, Gucci Gang, Gucci Gang.
Gucci gang, Gucci gang, Gucci gang, Gucci gang.
I felt that.
Yeah.
But anyways, to kind of wrap this up, it's been over an hour, so
Yeah.
ignore my cheesy ass comments. But
Yeah, no.
we're gonna wrap it up here. I hope you guys enjoyed. Anything you guys want to add?
This was a lot of fun.
Yeah,
Like,
it's
I-
good.
I-
Welcome. This is first of many to
Yeah,
come.
many to
Hopefully,
come.
hopefully many
the,
to
The
come.
conversation flowed really well. I was
Yeah.
a little
Yeah.
nervous about that, but I mean,
Definitely. I mean, since this is our kind of like
Yeah. Look forward to these.
the pilot.
right.
We're kind of feeling this out right now and playing around with it. So times.
audio quality will get better.
Yeah,
Audio quality will
and,
get
and
better.
also timing probably won't be super consistent as far as when we're gonna
Yeah.
release things.
But
We're gonna
definitely
I-
try to
I
get
think
stuff
the
out there
schedule
when we
was like,
can.
We're gonna try to do every Sunday.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're gonna try definitely
but,
get
like,
stuff
schedule,
out there.
schedules
and
change.
it may not be all of us. It may just be like a couple.
Yeah, I was about to
Yeah.
say like it would be like sometimes if one of us isn't available, it could just be me and Cameron or Cameron and Caleb
Yeah.
or Caleb
Yeah.
and me or
Just like-
Right, you may have
and
to
even
be involved
different
every time
set-
because you have
Don't
that.
even mention
Yeah.
me. That's
Yeah.
fine.
And even like
Oh, Noah.
oh
yeah.
no.
Or like any
I'll see.
any kind of
Nope.
guest speaker that we might have. Like I could
Yeah.
be the only one doing it and be like, why don't I just bring Carter in on this and we
Yeah.
can talk about something.
Yeah, I nominate
Yeah.
myself for the first guest speaker, so I never have to come again.
Okay, guys.
Noah part two.
So
No,
thank
we'll
you
not be
for
invited
listening
back.
again.
Yeah.
This was This is the podcast.
This is the
podcast.
Yes, I read that off screen because I'm still trying to get down.
Yeah.
This is your birthday.
This
It is your
the
birthday.
podcast.
That's just I think that's the best name I could have ever come up with.
Yeah,
for this.
just kind of.
All right, well, we'll wrap it up here.
Yeah.
Thank you guys for tuning in. I hope
Definitely.
you guys have a wonderful morning, afternoon, night, wherever you are.
Definitely.
Tuning in.
And
For sure.
stay tuned for next episodes.
More
like we said.
content.
Yeah,
More
more things
to
to
come.
come. And if you guys have any questions, I guess, or
and
stuff that you can
and I'll add
want
this
to
too.
hear about.
Leave comments, message us. We all have our different social medias, which should be linked below.
Follow
We'll
us
figure
on
those
Yeah.
out.
I can actually, you know what? I can actually set up.
Yeah.
I'll talk to you about this after.
Yeah. Anyways, those should be linked below. If you have any ideas, emails, so on and so forth, get in contact with us.
Definitely any questions, stuff you want to hear us talk about.
Yeah. And I was gonna say one more thing, but I'm completely spacing it.
Thank you for listening.
Thanks for
No, it
thanks for giving. What?
If you liked hearing what we were talking about, please share with a friend.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah,
shit,
definitely.
Tell a friend about it.
Yeah.
Definitely.
That's how bands got big.
Especially,
in the 60s,
yeah,
go tell a friend about bands.
getting-
and then
getting started
people came
with
back
things like
10,
this.
5, 10, you know.
Obviously, this is not something that's making us money and so on and so forth. So
So this is just
So
something
this is
fun.
yeah.
yeah,
This is definitely something
this is
that's
really
coming.
just to get out there and
Us
just,
volunteering and kind of
yeah,
time out of our own day.
telling
but-
stories, having some fun, and really just talking in general. But I hope you guys enjoyed. Share if you like the content.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I mean,
Thanks
this is for
thanks
you
for
guys.
Smash that
Yeah.
like button.
Yeah.
This is
Smash that like
No,
button.
keep that motherfucking like
Jake
button on me.
Ballers.
Yeah.
What's up, Jake Ballers?
What's up, Jake Ballers? Oh, today,
Yeah.
today we're gonna
definitely.
watch my brother laugh at a hanging corpse.
guys. Yo, yeah.
We
no,
just
but
lost
definitely.
everyone.
Yeah, we gotta go.
Listeners,
We gotta go.
No, but definitely.
Almost had 'em.
Definitely let us
Suicide
know. I
epidemic.
mean,
Take it seriously.
yeah,
For-
definitely let us know if, like, after all, like, we're kind of doing this.
Don't quote Bo Burnham.
Oh my
Okay,
gosh.
Caleb.
We are actually doing this, but we're also, we're doing it as a friend group, but we're also doing this, because you guys are listening to us, so,
Yeah.
like, on the real, though, if
Yeah.
you guys have anything.
Yeah,
feel
and
free to let
not
me know.
every
Give us
video.
topics of conversation.
Yeah, not every video is going to be just laugh your ass off for an hour.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
just
No.
keep that in mind. It's gonna be a little bit of all.
This
So
was
it's
the
good to have that.
pilot. The pilot
Good to have that
episode.
comedy, but we're totally open to serious topics as well. If anyone wants anything in specific, we can go through that. But I think that's a wrap. We're gonna wrap it up. Thank you
Yeah.
guys again for listening, and have a great night.
Yeah, for sure.